Hello everyone, this is Ironhide X doing another World of Warships video. In this video I'm going to be going over destroyers. Specifically I'll be playing Japanese destroyers, the Tier 6 Matsuki, or as I like to call it, the Mutt. I'll actually be doing gameplay in this, going over strategies, pros, cons, and a guide of how to play them, and some of the mistakes I see destroyer drivers doing. So real quick, pros and cons of destroyers. One, they're extremely stealthy, and they do have the capability of knocking out much larger ships, battleships and whatnot. You can alpha strike them down if you're lucky. Now, at the moment, I feel destroyers need a serious buff in the game. I think they're way too squishy. They die way too easily. They have a pathetic amount of hit points. In this Tier 6 destroyer, I can be one-shot by the Tier 3 battleship even. Literally, at only 10,000 hit points, you're just extremely easy to kill. One torpedo from a plane or another destroyer will kill you. One torpedo. The big guns of battleships will kill you in just one shell almost. So they're extremely fragile. Now, pros and cons of between the Japanese and the American destroyers. I think both of them need a buff, and here's why I think they both need a buff. The Japanese destroyers, one, the best destroyer on the Japanese tree is the Minkazi. The Tier 5 destroyer is actually the best destroyer in the line at only Tier 5. Now, the reason being, one, the Minkazi has 3 torpedo launchers that will spit out 2 torpedoes apiece, so it can spit out 6 torpedoes at once. Now, the reload on the Minkazi for those 6 torpedoes is about 30 seconds. It'll reload those 6 shots every 30 seconds, so you can just keep spitting out torpedoes. You see, the torpedoes have a 10-kilometer range, and they travel at 57 knots. This ship's very maneuverable, and it's very stealthy, and this is a really great destroyer. Now, when you go up the tree to the Matsuki, you keep pretty much the same torpedoes. You have a 10-kilometer range. They do a little more damage, and they move 2 knots faster, so it goes 59 knots. However, the Matsuki here only gets 2 torpedo tubes that spit out 3 torpedoes apiece, so it also has a 6 torpedo broadside, the same as the Minkazi. However, its reload is drastically slower. To reload my torpedoes in this boat, it takes me 1 minute and 45 seconds. For virtually the same torpedoes with the same firepower, 1 minute and 45 seconds. So if I go up against the Minkazi in this boat, one, he's actually got more guns than I do, but like I said, Japanese guns are virtually useless. So at a knife fight, though, he could potentially gun me down, maybe. But even if he doesn't, and we're relying on our torpedoes, every 30 seconds he can spit out 6 torpedoes on 3 launchers, so he can adjust his aim better, because he has 3 launchers instead of 2, and he can do it every 30 seconds, where I have to wait 1 minute and 45 seconds to reload my torpedoes. And it just gets worse after this ship. They actually get worse. The Tier 7 and Tier 8 and 9 and 10, their torpedo reload speeds are even longer. Now they do, of course, they get more torpedoes and whatnot, and it may not be quite a big issue. But specifically with the Matsuki, that minute 45-second reload is way too long. So another problem with Japanese destroyers is the detectability range of the torpedoes. Currently, this thing's torpedoes can be detected by enemy ships at 2 kilometers out, and that's assuming they do not have vigilance, the commander skill. If they have vigilance, the range at which they'll see my incoming torpedoes is even greater. And 2 kilometers away is such a large distance that even battleships are generally able to easily avoid my torpedoes. And that's a massive, huge issue. They move too slow, and they're spotted way too easily, and so your hit rate is extremely low. Now, you can increase that by getting in extremely close. But again, the torpedoes are not very fast, so you have to get extremely close. And they're, again, able to see your torpedoes, regardless of which range you'll be able to see them coming from far off. Now, if you do get in close with this Matsuki, you run an extremely high risk of being one-shot. If you get in close to any other ship in the game, battleship, cruiser, their guns will kill you in just 1 or 2 salvos. So get in close, you have a higher hit chance, but your chance of surviving the encounter is extremely low. Especially with battleships that when you want to get into 5-kilometer torp range, their secondary guns will open up and they can just kill you outright with just their secondaries. So that's why I think the Japanese destroyers definitely need a buff. Their torpedoes are just not effective enough, and their hit rate is just way too low, and the reload is way too low. So that's the problem with the Japanese destroyers. Now, with the American destroyers, they actually have really great guns, and they rely on their guns, and they have actually worse torpedoes even than the Americans. But however, they have shorter range torpedoes, so they don't get detected as easily. But still, they have to get within like 4.5, 5 kilometers to even launch them, and that is, again, you run into the problem of they cannot survive at that range. And unfortunately, American destroyers, they have worse camo values. So let's take a look real quick at the counterpart to the Mutt, which would be the Farragut. Now, the Farragut has a surface detectability range of 7.6 kilometers. That means enemy ships will see him 7.6 kilometers away, and his torpedo range is only 4.5 kilometers. And again, the tier 6 and up American destroyers have the same reload problem as the Japanese. They have extremely long reloads on their torpedoes, but like I said, however, they can use their guns. Now, the problem with that is they already don't have as good a camo value as the Japanese, but if they do fire their guns, their detectability range goes right out the window. So they can use their guns and they're much more effective. However, if they do use their guns, they get spotted, and if you get spotted in a destroyer within their gun range even, you're in serious trouble. If I'm in a battleship, for instance, and I spot a destroyer trying to gun me at 7 kilometers away, with the way I can aim, he is definitely going to die. I mean, he can twist and turn all he wants. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to kill him. That's just too close. And so the American destroyers are in the same boat, kind of, whereas their weapon systems just really are not very effective. If they start shooting their guns, they get spotted and they die. Japanese ones, they have no guns, but their torpedoes are detected from far, far too greater out, so their actual hit percentage on their torpedoes is just way too long. So I definitely think destroyers need a real buff in the game. That being said, let's go ahead and pop us in queue for a match, and I'll go over some of the tactics I use with the Japanese destroyers that they're really good at. So a couple of things I see destroyer drivers doing wrong. I often see destroyer drivers, they will go to an area of the map and they'll just pop smoke. Do not do that, guys. Do not sit there and just pop smoke if there's nothing even around you. Like in this ship, if an enemy plane is not within 3 kilometers or an enemy ship within 6, they can't spot me anyways. There's no reason to pop smoke. Popping smoke, 1, just uses one of your smoke charges, and 2, it lets the entire enemy team know, like, hey, right there's a destroyer, I should not go near there. So do not, I use smoke strictly as a defensive measure. I use smoke when I'm getting shot at or something and I need to just survive until my torpedoes are reloaded. So when a match first starts, I decide where I'm going to go. I'm actually going to go rush to A real quick and attempt to cap A. First thing I do, guys, whenever you get in a match with a destroyer is I turn off my anti-aircraft guns. If you hit P, you can turn off your AA, which makes it harder, because if you're shooting, your stealth value goes out the window. So turn off your AA, it makes you much more stealthy, and then I swap the torpedoes, because again, the Japanese guns on there are useless. So you hit 3, and hit 3 again to decrease your spread of the torpedoes. Because this thing has 10-kilometer range torpedoes, that if I were to lead them large spread, like that, instead of like that, once they get out to about 6 kilometers, they spread out so much that, I mean, literally nothing in the game would have any problem whatsoever of avoiding your torpedoes. and that's why it's important to use the. I prefer. Some people may prefer the wide, but I feel the narrow spread of your torpedoes is definitely the way to go. So like I said, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to attempt to capture A real quick. Now, I know if the enemy has something starting to cap A before I'm even there, it has to be one of their enemy destroyers. And they have 2 Nicholases, which is an American Tier 5 destroyer. Probably my greatest threat in this ship is American destroyers, just because they can gun me down. And like I said, I don't have guns. So I'm going to go out here. Now, if I get into trouble coming out here, I can just pop smoke and hide in my smoke. I have to be aware that of anything coming over here, though. That's a Phoenix. I want to swim away. Swim away, swim away. And you see how easily he avoided my torpedoes. Oh. It's an Ioba. He just got a good hit on me. So again, I'm stuck here, just sitting here waiting for my torpedoes to reload, where if I was in the Minkazi, I could shoot again. Huge, huge problem with these ships. I actually might be able to shoot him a few times. You see how slow my gun traverse is. Oh, I actually set him on fire with my little pop gun. Okay, now I just need to increase the distance to these guys, and then I will go into stealth mode. They won't be able to see me. Our team has taken the lead. 5.8, 5.9, there we go, 6 kilometers. Now, I don't need to pop smoke here because he won't be able to see me anyways. There's nothing they can do as long as I stay at 6 kilometers or greater. Now, the Phoenix is a very fast ship. I think it goes like 35 knots, and it turns fairly well. So, torping Phoenixes is actually pretty hard to do. But I can distract them and make them turn. My team here is kind of being a little goofy. All our battleships went to sea, which is a really bad spot for battleships in my opinion. It's definitely not the way to go. So again, a lot of destroyers they'll pop their smoke and whatnot right now, and there's really no need to do that. They can't see me, so why pop it? Okay, so see, there's an Ioba. He doesn't even know there's torpedoes incoming at him at the moment. That other destroyer just detected me, however. I need to get away. I need to get to that 6 kilometer range. There we go. See, now I'm dark again. He can't see me. Now the enemy destroyer popped smoke right there, so that Ioba may not actually see my torpedoes coming until it's too late. There we go. Yeah, I got hits on him. 2 hits, 3 hits. There he goes. He's down. Enemy cruiser destroyed. His own destroyer pretty much just killed him because he popped the smoke right there and let my in smoke. You really can't detect torpedoes very well. So again, I don't use smoke as often as these other destroyers do. There's definitely times and places to do that. I don't feel that popping it as much as a lot of destroyer drivers do, though, is good, because you just give away your position, and I feel they're best used as a defensive weapon. That's definitely the way to use it. Now they got that other destroyer over here somewhere. Just when you're driving destroyers, be aware of your range. Very important, be aware of your range. Again, 5.9 with this ship. As long as the ship's not within that, they can't see me.
Our team has taken the lead.
I need to attempt to cap A here. Oh, that enemy destroyer's right on my butt. Now, he's not going to really be able to tort me, but I'm pretty much in the same boat. He, however, does have guns that I do not have. My little two pop guns will not do too well versus him. But he's very low health.
Our team has taken the lead.
So now I gotta move over
User
here
entered your channel
and wait for my guns to track. You see how slow the destroyer gun is. It's horribly, or the Japanese anyways. Now that Nicholas, if I was him, I would have been banging away with my guns, because like I said, my greatest threat in this is American destroyers, because they have guns and are able to use them against me so easily, and I really can't do anything in return.
User left your channel.
There's definitely a hole in the enemy line now, and I'm going to be pushing south, attempting to go carrier hunting now. You could tell where the enemy carriers are just by watching where their planes are coming from, and they're fairly easy to see. Like I know they're going to be over in that southeast area because of how their planes are flying towards us. I turned my AA back on just because there's nothing at this point that can hurt me, so it doesn't matter if I'm spotted or not. So if I can get a torpedo bomber down and help out my battleship, which is where I'm pretty sure they're coming. No, they're going to be taking the battleships that are in the middle. But if I can help them out in any way, that's, you know, hey, good for us. Once I get to the south of these rocks ahead of me, I'll turn off my AA. But until then, I'm just cruising along. Like I said, the one redeeming factor of the Matsuki here is that it's very quick. I'm moving at 39.3 knots at the moment, so it's a very fast ship and it's very maneuverable, and it does have good camo. Just the ability to use your weapon systems in this ship is nowhere near as good as the Tier 5, and that's its biggest downfall. I wouldn't really have too many. I can deal with the torpedoes being spotted so easily and all that. If it just had a quicker reload, I feel this would be much better. I think they really need to decrease the reload on this. The only reason why I even bought it is just because, really. I mean, there's no other real reason why I got this. The Minkazi is a better ship. Now again, planes can only spot me at 3.1 kilometers. So as long as I stay 3.1 kilometers, I'm invisible. This is why I think popping smoke just traveling along this is a very bad idea. There's no reason to. When you, like, if I were to pop smoke right now, all it would do is let their enemy team know that, hey, there's a destroyer right here. Whereas right now, I'm completely invisible. They cannot see me. I should be able to get down here and do a torp volley into that battleship that's coming up. without him ever even knowing I'm here. And then after I do a torp volley into him, I'm going to try to do the same to their carriers. With carriers, I tend to get very, very close before I launch because they tend to be very fast, and I want to make sure I hit, because the reload again on this is so long. I cannot afford to miss. Okay, so that battleship's 9 kilometers away. He's moving towards me. But I want to get a little closer before I launch. Okay, I just got into the 6 kilometer range. Now all I have to do is just steam away and open up that gap to 5.9, and you'll see my 6th sense will go off, and I'll be invisible. And there we go. I'm darkened. There's literally nothing he can do to spot me other than that damn airplane. Ah, dang it! It ended before my torpedoes could hit that boost, or I would have got the hit. But there we go, destroyer game. I only had 1 kill. I had ended up with 2,000 experience and 105,000 credits. I did 31,000 damage, torpedo hits, of course, and 1,500 in HE. So not the best game. In some games in this destroyer, I've actually done really well. I've been able to get 150,000 damage by torpedoing and whatnot. I just want to give you a perspective of how it works, and I wish I'd had more combat to show you how to use the smoke and whatnot. Again, I only use the smoke as a defensive measure of when I'm inside that 6 kilometer spot range, or if an enemy carrier is keeping a plane over me that I can't shake to spot me for his for his teammates. Then you can pop smoke, but that's the only real reason I use smoke, is strictly for those defensive measures. Or there's one other instance. You can use smoke in a destroyer to hold a position. So like on maps that are not domination, you can pop smoke and hold that position, and enemy battleships and cruisers and other destroyers won't want to come into close to that smoke because they know you're in there and they can't see you, and they could be hit by a torpedo at any moment, and so they tend to stay away from you. So you can actually hold positions of the map pretty effectively just by popping smoke, staying in your smoke, and just exploiting the smoke mechanic. As far as crew skills, at the moment I've only got 2. I just have, or sorry, 3. I've got basics to survivability, which gives me 15% repair time, greater repair speed. Torpedo armament, which is a no-brainer for destroyers. It gives you 10% quicker reload, and if you had a CV, it would increase your servicing time of torpedo bombers. But that 10% reload on your torpedoes is very important. Another thing I find pretty much a must-have on destroyers is the situational awareness, which is, if you're from tanks, you know that's 6th sense pretty much is what that is. Extremely important on destroyers. I would get that even over smoke screen, which gives you +2 smoke charges. Because at stock, you only get 3 canisters of smoke that you can use. But I don't think I've ever once used all 3 in a match. They last so long that it's just generally not needed. Though I probably will get that on my next skill. And then as I move down the line, I will probably get vigilance, so that I can spot incoming torpedoes farther away. And I will probably get pyromania, the 5% chance of fire, just because, like I said, on destroyers I almost exclusively shoot high explosive, even though I don't fire too often. But the reason why I would do that is because, let's say I'm going after a battleship, I can shoot high explosive, and if I do manage to set him on fire, he's going to use his repair ability to put the fire out. And then if I were to shoot him again and burn him again, he'll burn out, or more importantly, I want him just to use that repair ability so that when my torpedoes hit him, he will flood. He won't be able to stop the flooding. And so that's why I'll probably get Pyromania. And then concealment expertise, I think, will be a big benefit to destroyers. Extra 10% stealth ability, pretty much is what that is. Definitely useful. And jack of all trades, minus 10% preparation time of all active skills. I'll probably be getting that one as well. But as I advance through my ranks here on my guy, there's quite a few I'd probably end up getting. Aiming expertise can be very handy. Not for really, particularly for the ship I'm in. Just because it's only got 2 little pop guns, but some of the later destroyers, I think, even on the Japanese side, have more guns than that. And again, the hindrance of all Japanese destroyers is their traverse speed. But let's take at the hat here, the Hatshura. It gets it's only got 2 gun mounts as well, but they're double guns, so it can spit out 4 shells. With the stock though, it actually has 3 main turrets, but you lose one when you upgrade to the better torpedoes. And then on the Fubuki, fully upgraded, it comes with again 2 gun mounts with 2 apiece, so it'll spit out 4. It has more than that on the stock one though, but of course you'd want to upgrade. And the Kagero has 2 torpedo tubes and 2 main gun mounts, so it's fully upgraded. And it the Kagero is the first one, I believe, that gets the long lance torpedoes. Let me just double check. Okay, so the Hatsura gets 10-kilometer range torpedoes. The Fubuki gets 15-kilometer range torpedoes. And the Kagero finally gets the long lance, the 20-kilometer range. And I think these will actually be pretty good torpedoes because they're 20-kilometer range, but they move at 67 knots, which is significantly faster than the torpedoes I currently have. They're very, very fast. And the Shimakaze, they have the long lance as well, 20-kilometer range, 67 knots, or they get the 15-kilometer range at 67 knots, but they do higher damage. I would probably still use the 15-kilometer ones just for the higher damage, because 15 kilometers is so far away. I mean, you don't really need that extra 5. So anyways, guys, that's my guide on destroyers and how I play them, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to my channel. Share with your friends, post it places. The more people that see my videos, the better. Just knowing people appreciate what I do gives me encouragement to do more videos. So again, please subscribe, share. If anybody's asking you questions about World of Warships, direct them to my channel. Let them see my videos. If you want to see anything specific about the game, World of Warships, I also do World of Tanks videos. So really, either one. I'm just really big into this game right now, though I'm still playing World of Warships as well. But if there's any specific thing that I've not covered that you want to see, just put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to do a video. If you want to see a specific ship, or more information about a specific class, or some basic skills that I could of in-game skills that I've not covered that you would need clarification on. Or whatever, I'll be happy to do videos on whatever you guys want to see. That's what I want to make. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.